the body has some higher dynamic functions, and some of these we don't even know about. What do I mean? I mean, for example, acrobatics. If you want to do a backflip, that's a higher dynamic function that the human body can do, and we have to unlock it. We have to learn how to do it. Or say climbing. Climbing is a particular dynamic function. You have to learn how to lock up your body, create dynamic tension through all the tendons in your body to grip onto the rock as you climb it. It's a particular functionality that the body can do, a higher dynamic function. And even walking, you see, walking on two legs is actually a higher dynamic function that we have to learn. We have to unlock it. We have to see that as a baby. We have to see our parents walking around. And it's proven this, children have been brought up in the wild, was a child brought up by dogs. So he could only walk on four legs. He walks on all fours. And even when they found him, they taught him how to walk on two legs so he could do it. But when he was left alone, he always went back and walking on all fours. So he learnt that. Two legs is actually quite difficult. Walking on two legs requires continuous balance. It's still unstable. If you were three legs, like a kangaroo, two legs and a tail, that's more stable. But two legs is actually unstable. You're always falling. So we had to learn how to do that. It's a higher dynamic function of the human body. But I'm saying there are more of these. There are some internal higher dynamic functions. And these are far more powerful. If we can learn these will give us power in everything else we do. For example, the first one we could say is learning how to align our skeleton, getting the bone structure in just the right position. Now, if we can do this, it allows the transmission of force. For example, if I want to push forward, I put one leg behind and I push. Say I want to push the car up the hill. One leg goes behind, two hands forward, and I push. That is a particular geometry that you have to hold in your body for efficiency. 1 foot behind, two hands pushing. But here's the thing. If you can get the internal dynamics, and I mean the exact positioning of the shoulders, the spine going into the hip joint, the hips going all the way down through the knee to the ground, and you must be precise, exact. Then the force will transmit through that structure far more efficiently. Suddenly you become much stronger. But it's difficult to do. You have to learn how to do it. It's minute adjustments. If one joint just goes out by a millimetre, you lost it. Then you have to use your muscles. You're really fighting. If you get the alignment just right, the force will transmit through the bone structure, and that is very easy. So this is what you would call Tai Chi, or the internal training, internal Kung Fu. But really it's just a higher dynamic function that we all have. That the body can do this, we just don't know how to do it. So there's another level above that. Above that, once you've got the alignment of the bone structure, you know what is most efficient for everything, for standing up. You see, we stand up hunched over is too much work. If I could stand exactly straight, your body weight reduces. You're just balanced nicely through the spine. It's more efficient. Once we've got that, now we've got to learn how to move through the structure. So now it's movement using your tendons, the ligaments and the tendons, more than the muscles. Again, a higher dynamic function. We have to learn this. It's not easy to do. See, I move my arm. Usually I just use the bicep and the tricep. I'm trying to activate the tendons on the elbow joint. It's a different thing. I have to control the tendons. So I have to learn how to do that. If I can do that, again, I'm far stronger, far more efficient, because the ligaments hold the joints together. If you look at the skeleton, we got strong bones, but then we've got a joint where it's weak. So if I want to transmit force through my structure, I've got to get the bones just right, but I've got to hold the joints also. I've got to hold the joints strong so it will transmit through the joint, through the bone, through the joint, through the bone, all the way to the ground. The tendons and the ligaments are stronger and they hold the joint. So if I can do this, now I've got more power in the structure. But again, I have to learn how to do it. This is what I'm calling tensegrity. Tension and integrity. I've got to hold the bone structure, that's the integrity, together with tension. But the tension is in the ligaments and the tendons. It's not so much the muscles. So now there's more levels to this. See, once I've got the hang of that, understanding how to hold the body together, now I can absorb force into the joints. And now this is tricky. Instead of just a bone structure, a solid structure, I now become an elastic structure. Now this is tensegrity. In architecture, a structure built with tensegrity is like solid things held together with elastic bands. So you've got this dynamic tension of elastic bands holding together a particular architectural structure. You know, like a bridge. A bridge has got these wires holding it up. Tensegrity. So now we've got a bone structure held together with elastic bands in the joint, the tendons and ligaments. That's tensegrity. But now, say I want to absorb a force. So I will do this with weightlifting. I will hold a weight above my head. Now, if I hold a weight, not too heavy, again, I'm not trying to build the muscles, I'm trying to build the alignment and the tendons, tensegrity. So like I would hold maybe 15 kilos, maybe 20 kilos above my head. But if I hold it straight up, lock the arms, and I get the alignment of my bone structure just right, then it's suddenly easy. Oh, that's easy. If I bend my arms halfway, now I've got to hold it with bent arms. Now it's difficult. I've got to use the muscles. Usually just use the shoulders. But no, what I've got to do is open up the whole structure, the bone structure, activate all of the tendons, the ligaments. Then when I hold the weight, what's happening is the weight is going into the joint. So for example, here is my shoulder. I'm lifting it above my head, but my shoulder connects to my rib cage, goes to my spine. And now the weight, the force of the weight is stretching into my shoulder. I'm actually getting a stretch in the ligaments. Now if I get this right, there's no work. It's no work at all, even holding it bent halfway. Because I'm getting a stretch into my ligaments. And what it feels like is, oh, I've got a lovely stretch in my shoulders, a lovely stretch in my rib cage, and the weight is helping me, is pushing down and stretching my shoulders for me. But the tendons and ligaments are so strong and elastic, they can stretch. So I allow them to stretch. Now the weight is pushing down, stretching me. So I've got to be careful, not too heavy. But if I get it right, like I said, oh, it's easy. So that is another higher dynamic function, an elastic body. Tendons and ligaments connecting the bones, and I'm spring loading. I'm creating tension so I can receive force. See, for example, my arm is straight like this. If I push in like this, push back on my fist, you can see my shoulder moving. See, I let my shoulder go back. If I lock out the elbow, that makes it a bit easier. Lock out the elbow, then you see if I push back, it stretches my shoulder. And I allow that stretch to happen. Oh, it's a lovely stretch in the shoulder. So I can do push-ups like this. Just, hold my weight. Again, be careful. I'm training the ligaments, so I'm trying to increase it. But my point is I'm absorbing the force. Now, if I want to push back, I activate the shoulder ligament. So it's gone to its stretch, and then I squeeze it. So now I'm pushing forward with my tendons and ligaments in the joint. It's more powerful. So I can receive force, absorb it into a stretch, like an elastic, but I can bounce back. Use that same elastic force to push again. Rebound. So again, elastic force, I can create it and I can absorb it. This is a higher dynamic function locked away in our body. We have no idea what it is. But when you find it, you feel very different. It changes your life if you can find this. You'll never see the body in the same way again. Now it's Tai Chi, martial arts. You've got force, but it's an internal force. You have to generate it, create it inside your body. A higher dynamic function that you have to activate. But there's more higher dynamic functions. Above this, once you've got the elastic body, you've got the bone structure. Now you're going into energy. See, inside the body you've got electrical energy. You've got the etheric energy, the chi. This is like fluid moving. So now I've got so much force, tension through the ligaments, but I'm squeezing. It's like I'm squeezing the blood. I'm squeezing the lymphatic system. I'm squeezing the electricity, moving it through the body like a fluid. So inside my body is energy pushing through. I'm using hydraulic power. Hydraulic power, water pressure, fluid pressure to move. Oh. So now this is even higher dynamic function, far more powerful. If I want to strike, do an impact with hydraulic power, it comes from an internal force. I'm like a robot, a machine. A higher dynamic function locked away in the human body is hydraulic power. It's real, but we have to create it. It's not easy. We have to learn how to do it. There's still more. Once you've got this feeling of flowing energy, now you can move into the actual energy itself. The chi, the ether, is more subtle. Now I can project energy outside my body. I can feel. This is the aura. I'm going to talk more about this. This is the aura that projects outside. It's still energy. I've got the fluid energy inside my body, controlling this body, but the fluid energy will also spread out. I feel it around me. Now I can do healing. Now again in martial arts, I can still affect someone. My point is, now you move the energy. And now you have a different body. You see, you've moved from this physical body, muscles and tendons and bones, then you've moved into hydraulic, liquid, electricity inside the body. Now you move to electricity, to etheric energy, to chi. It's pure energy now. Pure energy. So you have an energy body. This is a higher dynamic function of the body, an energy body. But we have to train this. We have to practice. We have to learn how to do this. So if you can develop an energy body, now the higher levels of this, you can separate. You can do astral traveling. This is an etheric body. I'm keeping it very simple. I'm saying there are three things. You have a physical body, you have an energy body, and finally you have a spiritual body, a soul body. That is very abstract. That is pure space. It's an infinitesimal point, no space, and it expands into space. So your soul body could be a ball, a sphere, or it could be an egg, or it could be a point, or it could spread out. It's abstract. Your energy body is like this physical body, but it's your aura. You can expand it and contract it, but it's still a body. Then your physical body is this machine. But once you get this far, now you've returned back to the origin. You've gone back to soul spirit. Soul spirit creates all of this. So now the soul spirit comes into the body, and the seat of the soul is here, the heart chakra. Seat of awareness up in your head. Seat of power is in your belly. But the seat of emotion, your soul. Emotion, feelings. This is what creates it all. And it's here in the center of your body, the heart chakra. You breathe from your soul. Now your soul power goes into your energy body, and your energy body goes into your physical body, and your physical body is elastic power, hydraulic power, and alignment, bone structure, correct alignment. Remember, the bones must move correctly. But ultimately, you can become fluid. Now you have control, elasticity, understanding. I can move everything like a snake. The spine is fluid. All the vertebrae in the spine can move. All the joints can roll and move, and they flow through the body. So the highest level is like snake-style kung fu. That's the kundalini. They talk about the serpent. Really, it's just the primordial energy flow. It moves like a snake or a worm. It's a wave going up and down. That's what it is. So that is the pure energy, the highest level. So again, you could call that Tensegrity Tai Chi. Tai Chi is this fluidity, but fluidity with internal power. Inside is Tensegrity. But remember, Tensegrity has become hydraulic power. Hydraulic power has become spiritual power, soul power, and the whole thing is integrated. So that's what this training is all about. That's why I call it body efficiency training, because if you get all these higher dynamic functions, your body becomes efficient and your soul can use it more. Your soul becomes more efficient. So I hope this made sense. Please do leave me any questions or comments, and stay tuned. There's still a lot more of this series to come. So thank you so much again, and I look forward to seeing you in any of these other videos here.